Hello.
No,
Well, how are you? What am I doing?
other than I guess podcast. What's your big plans for the day?
Gonna work out and shower.
I did I did one of those things so far.
You don't know where you're going? Or is it like a restaurant?
Yeah, I'm just along for the ride. I'd stay home if I was allowed. Well, on the radio this morning, like listening to sports stuff, driving to work, thinking that was safe. And every guy that got on the microphone wanted to thank his mom for 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I can't do it. Like, turn the radio off. Go back to my music. Hate those people.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I hate those
It's just the people
people.
that like their mom.
Yeah, I just get tired of hearing it sometimes. I used to
That's
hate
good.
like her birthday, but I think Mother's Day is like mostly because of social media, because now it's all in my face with everybody and their moms. But anyway, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Hello, Allie.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy moms all around. Goddamn it. Doggy patrol. Fred's right next to me, taking a nap, making sure that we're doing everything correctly. We had like someone come over that might possibly be dog sitting when we like go places, and like this girl Sarah, but her mom would be the one coming over because she's like busy. I think there's one Phillies game we were gonna do it, and
Crap.
Fred didn't like her. Fred didn't like her mom a whole lot. He helped out her the whole time and like stared at her from like 4 inches away from her face. Get all up in her face and stay like well. So Fred's getting very protective. I think this is his home now.
God. I mean, yeah, he's definitely been that way.
It doesn't. He was barking at John yesterday. Relax, just like John's been here many times. He knows who John is. So anyway, I guess we'll move on from dogs to rattlesnakes.
Why not? There's plenty of them to go around.
Yeah. Two of these, so what was it? These basically three. Oh yeah, it's basically not 3 stories. I almost like that format better, the little bit longer stories. Like I could get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
The ones in the middle, Finn and Lori, and I mean, I guess they're classic.
It depends. I mean, we're so used to reading long. I mean, all of Stephen King is long form, so I didn't mind like just little snippets as much. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind these stories either.
I actually, I got into it, more than I expected to. Like I like rattlesnakes. Did you read the afterward? Where he's like, I didn't know it was going to be the guy from Cujo. It just like happened that way.
Yeah.
You mean?
I don't like. He said he talks about it in the afterward. Like I don't know where it comes from. It's just like, comes out of thin air or something.
Well, and I like in the afterwards he even says, like, I struggle with short stories. Like, I don't feel like I do them as well. So he was proud of this book. And I'm like, I get that.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I mean, for a guy that doesn't think he's very good at it, he does a lot of them. I mean, he makes sure there's a book of short stories in a rotation every couple of years.
That's what I was thinking.
Although two of the Lori I had read before, and the Answer Man I read somewhere before, and I don't know where it was, but I knew this story as soon as I started reading it.
Well, he did say it was pulled from a stack of like ones that he'd already written and just hadn't finished yet. So maybe it was like a partial story at another point.
This guy has so many stories. He has like an attic full of stuff that he didn't bother to like do anything with, and he's got grandkids and nephews going through the stuff in the attic to see if it's any good.
I mean, I think he says he doesn't take a day off writing, so
I know he's gonna be like coming out with new stories for like the next 100 years.
Good enough.
No matter how long he actually lives. As long as his stories outlive me, I'll be all right.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I need a May and September for the rest of my life. Oh, hey, it's May. When's Never Flinch come out? Wait, I think that's the end of it. Although I'm not a giant Holly Gibney. Well, those are more like the whole Outsider, not the Outsider. Mr. Mercedes is more like a crime novel than a Stephen King novel. Although a lot of people do die. So I guess that counts. So Holly came from that. Then she went to the Outsider, and I got all strange. Her last book was the one with the old people that were like stuck on the life force. There's a lot of old people stuck on life forces. I don't know what he's trying to say. Maybe he's tired of being old and he wants to be young again.
I mean, it's definitely, I appreciate this book. It's just so different than a lot of what we've written because all the characters are old, retired men. And all the references are things that I know and use. And I'm like, I'm not used to that.
Like the lingo or
The lingo, aside from the COVID stuff, there was something else. It was like a brand name of something. And I'm like, yeah, I know what that is because I use that too. Like, as opposed to being something that hasn't been used in 30 years.
right. Oh, right. Yeah, because most of the other stuff is 30 years old references.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, he was. What did he say? Tabby like made sure he had more COVID references in there. Like, well, okay,
Why?
yeah. Maybe she could have told you not to bother with that.
All of us
That's.
lived through that and we don't need to remember it right now.
I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but reading it, I'm just like you. I don't want to know about that. Fuck COVID. Like, I didn't
Especially because
actually realize I felt that way until I read it.
it's
Yeah.
intertwined with the other references that I do like. So that's why I'm like, just get out of there. Like, stop reminding me.
Yeah, I came here for like demons and fantasy stuff. I don't need my real life in my Stephen King novels.
Right.
Uh, yeah, 'cause I'm trying to escape that nonsense. What did we read during COVID? We were doing this, right? Were we? We started after that. 2020, I think we started
I
after.
think there was, I mean, it was like during kind of.
Yeah, I think we started in, well, I joined in like 2021 or 2022, I think.
I think it was
You only missed
2021.
you missed one book, and as it turns out, you probably should have read that book.
Yeah, right. It was a very
Yeah,
important book. Although I don't think, wait, maybe there a JFK reference? There wasn't in the first two of these.
there was one in this book. There was a couple. I don't remember
No,
where.
well, I
Maybe
just mean these three stories specifically.
There was kind of one in Answer Man, but it wasn't about the assassination. It was when he was,
they're
um,
watching TV or something.
Right.
well, different direction, but still JFK.
We do have a Dr. Fauci reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, has anybody read Cujo?
No, I've not seen the movie either, so I didn't even know. They kept saying the boy died, and I'm like, right, because of Cujo, right.
Oh yeah. If you didn't know that, this is kind of weird, huh? Well, I guess you found out right quick what happened.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think I probably knew that at some point, but
Well, you
so in
almost
the
don't need to read Cujo if you're reading this.
all right.
yes, we know how you.
Well, you've also said it's just not a great story, right?
It's not one of my favorites. It's more of it's one of those nothing actually happens action wise. And they're in the same location the entire book, so you're mostly like living in their head kind of story. Also, it's like memories and flashbacks and some like planning with her trying to get away from the dog, but it's the car fails. Cujo's outside, rabid trying to eat them or kill them or whatever, and it's like 100 degrees outside, so they're on a very limited time schedule. And Danny has asthma, so he ends up dying of. He gets too hot and has an asthma attack and dies.
And that happens in Cujo.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's crazy.
and she is in Cujo. He was going on a business trip or some shit. That he was out of town. And he had just found out that she was cheating on him right before she went to Cujo's house to whatever errand she had to run. So that's
Yeah,
all you knew at that point. So this is all about how, like, what happened next, I guess.
I just cannot put these two people together. Like, I guess because I didn't read Cujo, and I guess he's not really in that story,
I mean,
but
honestly, I don't know why he made it the guy from Cujo, because
right.
it could have been literally anybody and it would have been okay.
Could have been, yeah, anybody whose child died for any reason. Like, it didn't have to be them.
And yeah, and there was like marriage problems. Oh, that's never happened before. Yeah, because like I don't know. I guess he just doesn't want to write sequels until he gets old. Because he all his sequels are like 40 years later, and
I mean, I think,
sometimes like you don't even identify it as the same person. It's just a different character in a different book.
yeah, I don't know, whatever. Who am I to question his method? I guess, but it's like, why? I am questioning it.
We all bow before Discordia.
What's the the oh my God, why did I forget the phrase?
Oh, Hail the Crimson King.
No, the beam one.
Uh,
And serve the beam.
All things serve the beam. Thank you.
Jeez, I don't know how the beam feels about you forgetting all about it. Yeah, look up in the sky. Are you outside? Which way are the clouds going?
I'm not outside, but I could look.
I'm not sure you want to know. Well,
But
first you have to
weird,
know what path you're on.
like only like two, all right? Oh, well, you mean to the right? Well, I don't
Oh,
even know.
wait, did we? Hmm.
It's been too long.
So when he starts over again, because he fucking doesn't know how to blow a horn, which seems like an awful penance for that. Whatever. Only two beams left, or do we lose? We lose like two during the story, right? At least
You
one.
know,
There's at least two.
yeah, I
I
think
think
there
there
were
were
like
four.
no, wait, there's six total. I don't remember.
Yeah, 12 halves, six,
Yeah, I think
12
maybe there were
portals, like
four
one
left,
animal on each end. Yeah, I think there was only
and
two
then
because I hated that part when there's only two left because that made me nervous.
well, I
Yeah.
definitely remember. Wait,
Well, I
didn't
think
one?
it started with two or, well, no, sorry, not two, three or four, because there were at least two beam quakes.
That's what
That
I was gonna say. I remember the beam quake.
Yeah, I remember at least one. I wasn't sure. I thought there might have been two. Man, you don't forget beam quakes when they happen.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh my god, what if the two beams are on like the same side and it's just gonna fall over the other way?
Yeah.
I need some two beams doing some counterbalance.
Well, they're not. I never thought of it like that. I don't think they're actually holding it up, are they?
I mean, they are holding it up in what capacity? I don't know if they are physically holding it up, but they're I don't
They're
know,
holding up the world.
energizing the universe. I really hope we get another one. I like the tower. I like talking about it.
Another tower. Yeah, yeah.
You've been teasing. We'll see. Stop teasing. You're too old for that. Do it or don't. Well,
I would be happy for it. I just want to see Jake and Eddie and Oi living happily somewhere.
Give me all more oil, please.
I noticed how you did not say Susanna in any of those sentences.
Yes, you did. She could be there. I don't care, but I'm not looking for
Right? One way, yeah, whatever. Take her and
her.
fucking go to that Swiss guy in that building and fucking go or yourself somewhere. Uh, okay. Anyway, Vic Trenton. So now
I was gonna say, weird Cujo reference or association aside, I did really like this story. I love the squeak. The squeak was so perfect.
it was very creepy, and I wasn't. Yeah, so we just went to yeah. It started to have a lot of Bag of Bones vibe,
It did, for sure.
like haunted, like house at the lake. Like I think we did this before.
And I'm like, Jesus, this guy must be really thinking about being a widower. Like, how many of these stories are his wife died?
Right. I was like, does he like give this to Tabby? And she's like, mm-hmm. What are you trying to say?
Right.
Like, would you stop killing me in your stories, please?
He's like, no, you're just gonna die someday.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah. Well, how about you're the one that dies and have the what? No, we don't want that. We don't want the being a woman widow. Widow.
To be fair, we know what it's like when he writes from the perspective of a woman. So,
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I was like, I don't think I want that. I'm
We
like,
don't.
now her life is over. So they actually got back together. What, 10 years? They had fallen completely out of touch and ran into each other.
I mean, that story's, I
Uh,
mean, I'm sure that happens, especially, well, I don't know how often, hopefully that happens, hopefully not, but like if you lose a child and then, things fall apart and then you find each other again.
tough. I mean, I guess you'd have to wait 40 years to get over that.
I mean, I don't think you ever get over it, but at least to
Well,
not
it's
hate
not
each
just
other.
that. Like, she was having an affair when the kid died.
Well, right. I mean, I can understand why she wanted to get away from him because she probably hated herself so much.
She hated herself so much she hated him. On the
Right.
side of him, she hated herself. What did she
Exactly.
say? Like, I just can't. She said that. Didn't she say, I
She
can't stand the
said,
sight of you or something?
I love you and I hate you and I want to leave before I hate you more than I love you.
Well, maybe
Well,
she wants to get to a spot where she can talk to him.
Wow, waited 40 years?
was it 40 years? I don't,
I don't, I
I thought it
mean,
was like 10 years or something.
I thought it was like, yeah, 10 or 20. I didn't think it was 40.
Weren't they together like 10 years and then she died and she was like 65 or something?
But she
I
just
think it was
recently
65 when they got
died.
together. 65 when they got back together, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember
Maybe I'm just going with publishing dates.
that.
Cujo's in the 70s. Anyway, is it really a rattlesnake key? Did he make that one up? Because there's not a Duma key, which gets referenced quite frequently.
But there
Yeah,
is a siesta key.
there seems to be so many references to Doomickey. I was like, is this really a sequel to Voodoo, or is it more a sequel to Doomickey?
It's a sequel to He Lives in the Florida Keys half the year.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. His
Yeah,
books,
with fucking
after having read so much, you can tell that these are all just like diaries. They're like journals.
yeah, going for a walk at the beach with fucking alligators. That's not a main thing.
I don't know. I never thought to look it up to see if it was real or not.
Well, I found out Duma Key wasn't real. So I feel like I'm almost like I have to read that. Is he like pushing me to read Duma Key now? It's not my favorite from what I remember.
But
It had
siesta
something to do
key
with like
is
paintings that you could paint to life, like Dorian Gray almost. Or not Dorian Gray. Like what he painted would happen. Almost like Patrick fucking what?
Mr.
Uh,
Worldsaver.
yeah.
What is his last name? I don't remember.
Odds Lane. No, that's Dandelion.
Patrick Odsley.
Yeah, that's Patrick Dandelion.
Oh, well, maybe, yeah, by captive.
Patrick Deschain.
Well, that's not good either.
Yeah, that doesn't tend to end well for not for you, Gunslinger.
He said,
Either way, I'm good.
also, real quick side story or side thing Rattlesnake Key is a real place in Tampa,
Nice.
Florida.
Is it full of rattlesnakes? Like they like snake hunted to the end of the island and all that weirdness?
Doesn't say, like, it should say, why is it named that?
What's a double pram? I'm assuming that's a stroller, right?
Yeah, I never looked that up either. I'm like, what is a pram? Prom?
He kept saying it, so I'm like, okay, it's got to be a stroller because if it's not, that's what I'm picturing. So that's what we're going with.
Well, then he more than alluded to it. I think he like said something about the stroller, and I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, he kind of switched between calling it a pram and a stroller.
Yeah, all the tower aside, this was a cool, creepy story. I was like,
Oh yeah, so it's named that because of it, both because of its shape and because the presence of rattlesnakes that historically inhabited the area. So they used to be there.
somebody must have told him that story. And he was like,
Yep,
Well, I took the guy from Cujo and like made rattlesnake. It was very creepy. Like I couldn't figure out the squeak at first. Well, I still haven't really figured out the squeak.
what do you mean?
I didn't realize it was actually a stroller wheel. I wasn't sure. And then like is it? I don't. Is the stroller really there? Or does that stroller even exist? Does anyone else hear the squeak? Is it
It's
a ghost
both.
squeak? Yeah.
I don't know
It
why
was. And the answer's like yes to all that.
so much of this felt relatable just in terms of like auditory hallucinations because like I'll get that a lot at the house here. I don't know if it's like me going deaf and filling in blank noises or something, but like I swear I'll hear things like my roommate, and I'll go and be like, "Oh, she's not home," and I'm like, "Oh well, I don't know what that was," and it
I
reminds
do
me.
that like
Uh,
after
I was just saying it's the ghost trying to talk to you.
right.
my dogs don't want to go upstairs. I think the ghost cats are up there. We did that after we put Carmela down. I kept hearing shit. And I'm like, oh, it's a
Hmm.
cat. Like, oh, we don't have a cat. And then I go, well, hold on. What the fuck was that?
I
If
do
the
that at
cat's
your
not
house.
making noise, what the hell is that?
I definitely think Carmela is there because I do that at your house all the time, where I will think I'll see one of my cats, and I'm like, "Wait, there's no cat here."
Right. Damn it.
But it's like it's both real and ghost. But like whenever he's seeing it or hearing it, it's not an accident, is how I would say it.
Yeah.
And
So,
as soon as it was introduced, I was like, "Oh, I love it," because it's like he has those little calling cards, and I'm like, "This is awesome," because you're just gonna hear that squeak, and like it's gonna freak you the hell out.
right. I'm going to hear that squeak the rest of my life. He died of dehydration in a hot car. I never blame my wife. I don't know about
Is it
How could
dehydrated?
you
I
not?
guess technically. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, that's a tangent. We don't need to go. I was like, is that dehydration if it's like heat? But I guess technically it is because you're that hot. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm pretty. I mean, unless I'm remembering it wrong, I think the kid had asthma attack, and that's what killed him. Unless he like survived that and then died. You know. I remember it was like 100 degrees outside, and they were in a car, and they couldn't roll the windows down because the dog was out there. So dilemma quickly.
But you can't
The
crack the windows, really.
Yeah, but if it's 100 degrees out, that ain't gonna do a lot. There's no air flowing. I don't know if I've ever been to Maine at 100 degrees. Is that really? Does that happen?
That's also true. Well, if the car is shut, the door, the windows, and the sun is, blaring, blazing, whatever.
I've heard it gets hot in the summer, but we've never actually had that happen.
It's been in the 90s before when I've been
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's ever happened to us where we were like sweating and hot because there's no AC at the
I mean, it was
cabin.
when we went in July the one year. I remember it getting like toasty once or twice, but it was not a lot.
It almost doesn't matter like how hot it is during the day. At night, it's like breezy and windy and cool, and it doesn't matter. The
Right.
windows are open, and who cares? I need a blanket, even though it's 90 degrees this morning. So yeah, I don't know. I think the second I met her, I'd been like, I don't know if I feel safe here anymore. I might just have to get the fuck out of here. Uh,
Well, I definitely. So when they introduced the snake thing, the snake killer hook, what do they call that? I can't remember. Rattlesnake stick.
yeah, whatever.
I
Yeah.
thought, I think I even wrote it down. I was like, she's gonna kill him with that. Like, I do not trust this lady.
Well, I was thinking that was going to come into play somehow. Like,
Yeah,
I was honestly expecting a bunch of rattlesnakes to show up here at some point, and they,
right. It's Chekhov's rattlesnake stick.
yeah, like, well, was there ghost rattlesnakes?
Yes. Did you read the story?
I did, but like,
He specifically says that there are real ones and there are ghost ones of the snakes and the stroller. Yeah, well, we have to trust our narrator.
so we got four different possible combinations and permutations here. Right? We could have
Yeah.
real snakes and ghost strollers. We could have real snakes, real strollers.
I
It's
mean,
hard to
on
keep
his
up with.
trip to get rid of the stroller, he had at least real stroller, real snake, and fake snake.
If I put that stroller, or well, no, he never. Yeah, the stroller just showed up at his house. So why him? How did he get singled out? Did the
He
house
seems to
call him
think
like
that
Sarah
the
Lab?
the kids like decided he was a perfect dad for some reason.
Yeah, that part I didn't quite get. It's like just because he said what hello to the ghost children, they were like, okay, you're dad now.
He even mentioned something like, "Well, he has no kids anymore and no wife to attend to, so he's perfect." I'm like, "What?"
Your life is over anyway. Fucker. Maybe because he was there, it made him the perfect dad. He was the only option available, right?
But what
He
about
was.
Greg?
And what did she? Okay, wait. Greg was the investigative cop guy, right? No, wait. Who was Greg?
House?
Oh, Ackerman. I mean, is he ever actually there?
Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't acknowledge the kids.
That's also true. Although he does eat the cookie.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Everything the way they were setting her up, I was like, "She's gonna kill you."
right, possibly with a rattlesnake thing, or maybe some ghost snakes. We're not. I'm not sure. Yeah, and so did did the ghost kids kill her?
I don't. Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that part.
I was kind of surprised by that because I thought she was our villain, kind of. And then I was
I.
like, okay,
Why would they? If their plan was to get a dad, why would they kill her? I don't understand that.
yeah, shouldn't they have secured? Yeah, I don't. Maybe they didn't. It was just one of them things. Rattlesnakes finally got her. Maybe it was the ghost snakes. They were like tired of her ass.
Well, she did die of a heart attack. Apparently, she's had many heart attacks.
Well, ghost snakes don't leave marks. Maybe she didn't have a ghost rattlesnake stick. She
Well,
just had
even
a
that's
regular one.
not what I was saying. Is that she was very afraid of the things she was seeing, whether they were real or not, and that was giving her the heart attack.
Maybe if like you think you're getting bit like by ghost snake,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
how
I
you would.
think
That's
you can. I think you can technically die that like of fright in that sense, like giving yourself a heart attack
you
if
know
you're older.
that sounds like a good thesis. Can you actually die of fright? I've actually the answer is probably hell yeah.
You know where it has happened is on Charmed, so I'm gonna say yes.
Well, clearly, I don't even have a rebuttal for that. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, especially if you're older and like heart attacky.
Well, that was my assumption of what they were implying by saying she'd had several heart attacks already. Is just like being around all these haunted things.
He's so good at that. He's like, why do I write like scary stuff? I forget how he worded it. He's like, I'm just like, because you're so good at it. Like the dude came around the corner and there's just, the crows were fucking fighting over
Yeah.
pieces of her like arm, and they're like, oh god, he's so good at that. Like I had her set up. It was like, all right, we're in it, for the long run with her, and then all of a sudden, next page she was dead and getting eaten by birds.
Even when he described that scene, I was like, surely she's not dead. And then he was like, her face is gone. I was like, probably, yeah.
Yeah. And, wait, so the snakes had nothing to do with her dying, right? She died of a heart attack and just got eaten by birds.
What I'm a little confused about is like, are the boys afraid of the ghost snakes, or are they working with the ghost snakes?
It seemed to be both at the end. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. I couldn't understand.
See?
Well, especially, I think there was a line where he was like, I'm not sure, but I feel like the boys can call the snakes. And I'm like, why do you want them to call the snakes? I feel like that's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, does it call them and then they scare themselves by doing that? Or do they call them?
Yeah, can you like switch that to a different ability, maybe? Not call the snakes anymore?
Because I'm like, are the snakes working on their own accord because they're angry they all got killed? And, or I guess, are they working with the other spirits?
Well, do you call the snakes and they do what they want, like demons, or do you call them and you can control? Like some lesser. I feel like they just go willy nilly when you call them.
We can ask the answer man.
The answer is everything.
Yeah, we're not there. How did he not have a list of questions that he carried around in his pocket ready for this guy? Because he obsessed for 14 years on every other aspect of this guy.
Especially for being Harvard educated, a lawyer.
Right. You'd have been like, so how many nights would he have sat there going, so what would I ask him? There's no way after he would have a list of questions ready because he kept thinking about the guy. Or he's just a really bad lawyer. I don't know. Well, apparently he wasn't. He was pretty good.
So he said.
And the first question he should have asked him when he saw him again was, you fucking saved me. Like, did I live because you said I wasn't going to get hurt? Because it sounds like he should have died.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
I think that was past the point of him caring about that, though.
Probably easier to believe that it was true. And, like, even if he died, then at least he went out that way.
I like how his rates went up with inflation. He didn't even say nothing about that.
His what?
The answer man's rate. It went from $25 to $50.
Yeah,
$25 for 5 minutes to $50 for 3 minutes.
And then free.
Yeah, I kind of felt like, well, you're fucked, so who cares?
Who, the guy? Well, yeah.
Anyway, back to I don't know that I have a lot about Mr. Creepy Snake Guy. I like how what did he say? The investigator, he didn't know he was going to be part of it until he started writing it or something. That guy was kind of fun. He was like, I know you killed it. And I'm going to figure it out.
No, why? And like, if it's proven that she died from a heart attack, then why does he have such a fixation on being like, no, you killed her?
Because he's a cop.
This is now the second story about a fixated cop.
And a drunk cop at that.
Only at the end, though.
True. I mean, I guess it was implied that he may have been drinking on other days.
They're all drinking. Every character is recovering alcohol. Wait, how did it end up? They definitely make a point of like her taking pills, like he references that several times. I still think she got ghost snake bit, where the kids like killed her.
I mean, I guess the kids killed her, but I don't understand why. Like, why couldn't they just live with her?
Well, that's why I think maybe they didn't kill her. They just glommed onto the person who found her.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it was really just like
it seemed really convenient. He showed up, she died. Are you my dad?
But how did she know she was going to die? She wrote the will.
That's also a fair point. I forgot about that. Did she kill herself?
How do you kill yourself with a heart attack?
By not taking your pill.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe she didn't take her pills, and once she saw how he was like interacting with the kids, so she was like, he would be a good replacement for me. Now's a good time.
Yeah, that's true. could see that.
He grabbed the first guy that came along. Like, all he had to do was like be halfway all right. He ate her cookies, so she was.
Not even that, just him saying hello to them and not being like, "You crazy loon."
I'm pretty sure I would not have said hi to the ghost children.
I thought about that. If I was in that situation, I would probably go along with it too, because you don't want to be like rude and be like, you know that your dead kids aren't there, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm, fight or
Say,
flight.
I'm
I'm
not
not sure
waving
what
to
I would
them. They're
do.
not there.
I probably wouldn't wave to them. I don't know that I would destroy her illusion, but I don't know that I would be like, hi, Joker. So, hi, Jacob.
Well, I would.
What great jumpsuits you're wearing today. It's funny. The clothes always match. They're like all twin clothes.
I
It's
loved
kind of
that. My
funny.
favorite is the Heckle and Jekyll. I'm like, man, I want that
Yeah.
for like me and my friend.
Right. Well, see, that's a 30-year-old.
Well, yeah, but everybody knows. I mean, even if they don't know what that is, they know what it means.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. She kept updating the clothes, and then she's like, "I know they're not there." I'm like, "Oh, like whoa, hold on, what?" And then what are you doing this for? I mean, sometimes they are there. Yeah, it was a little more complicated than just they're dead and she's crazy. But all those things are also true. I think. I don't know. Is she
The fun.
crazy or is she just haunted?
It's exactly what I was gonna say. Is it crazy if you're seeing ghosts? Ooh, that's the age-old question in horror.
Yeah. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching you.
That's why it's easier for me to write everything off as it didn't happen.
That's what. I mean, that's what most people do.
If somebody's trying to haunt me, they're gonna have to be very obvious about it.
Right. I want to see like TVs falling and shit. Know what was that around the corner noise?
Right. I am not investigating shit.
Nope.
Right. Write some shit on the wall. Like send me a message so I don't have to get up.
That would work. If yeah. Even then I'd be like, my roommates are pranking me.
Write a story about a haunted Google giving you
What?
fake information. A haunted Hey Google.
Oh yeah.
I just set off the house.
Hmm.
Anyway, I don't have much more to say. I love the story. It was very creepy. Like I got into these a little more than I thought I was going to, so I was happy about that.
I have to look at the list, but this one might have been like my favorite of the book. It was just very classically creepy and nice little ghost story.
Yeah, this would have been like a 700-page book like 20 years ago.
Hmm.
Like all his stuff is much shorter now. Like I don't have
I
time.
actually, well, I was thinking, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if they make this into a movie like in the next few years.
I mean, right? Because he wrote it. That's all. That's all it takes. That's not like a high bar.
If they're making Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream into a movie, Rattlesnakes is for sure gonna be on the list.
Good point.
From the author of Cujo.
Story from Cujo.
Right. I never really. Yeah, I didn't like Cujo enough to ever give a shit what happened to the parents 40 years later, or however
Well,
many years it is.
it's kind of strange reading it from my perspective, where it's just like I don't know anything about him except for from this story, and I'm like, that's the kid. I didn't even know a kid died in Cujo, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I know, right? Spoiler alert. What the hell, man? He's probably like, well, if you haven't read Cujo by now, then fuck you. Although in the movie, I don't think the kid died. If I remember, I think the movie was like, well, can we just tame that down a little bit? But I think the kid from Cujo is the kid from Who's the Boss? What's his name? Danny Pintaro? Or is that the kid from The Shining? I might be getting all those people.
I have no idea.
All the kids had the same haircut back then. I can't tell them apart. But like bowly
I
haircut.
was gonna say the bowl cut.
I don't remember how Doomickey ended, but apparently there wasn't much left of the island. Maybe he painted it out of existence.
Yeah, I don't know that story either. So he was like, I saw it and then it was gone. I was like, well, what happened to it?
Well, and the line at the end where it was like they're trying to raise Doomickey, and I was like, that might be the next sequel short story.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with that? Well, just paint it back into existence. How hard could it be? My God. Although, if there's an island that keeps appearing and disappearing, I'm just going to say, don't get on it. It might get lost and stuff. And just general principle. Even if you're not on the Lost Island, who knows where you go when it disappears?
Yeah.
Altair 4, for Christ's sake.
Especially, oh wait, this is near. No, that's the other story. Spore Lake, Norman. Yeah, but also,
Dreamers,
Well,
the middle
yeah.
story.
Dreamers was, yeah, I guess I'm ready for that. Wait, how does this end? I don't even remember.
he's randomly 3 years separated from it in another state. All right, all right, cool.
Right? So you're good. We don't have to worry about ghost kids and all that shit. Why didn't he just leave? Oh, he was trying to.
Oh,
Police
Why
this
didn't he get
told
in the
him.
car and just fuck that shit? Like the second the stroller showed up in my garage, okay. Then I put it back, and then when it squeaked its way back, like nope, nope, get in the car. Not, I don't know what this is. Not dealing with it.
Well, especially when you start seeing the boys, their weirdly adult bodies. Like, I'm like, no, no. I kept.
Oh yeah,
It was so vivid the way he kept describing them. I could see them too. Like, especially at the end when he's pushing them to the beach.
it was like
Mhm.
5-year-old heads on adult bodies. So yeah, that was creepy. That was like some kind of like John Carpenter, like Children of the Damned or whatever. What's the creepy kid movie?
I don't know.
There's so many creepy kid movies.
Well, Village of the Damned, right? Isn't that what it is? Well, Children of the Corn. Let's take one.
I was gonna say I've seen Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I almost went to Bradenton, Florida, which I'm pretty sure is where your grandfather lived.
Well, it is near Tampa.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, yes to all that.
Mhm.
I haven't been there in a while. Florida's a little weird now. Yeah, I forgot about it. Like with the detective, like taking a drink, putting a mask on, taking a drink, putting a mask up. Like, oh my God,
No,
I don't, I don't need that.
but oh well.
I was kind of into like the snake story. They just kept saying how they got rid of the snakes, but I never heard like so you just burned them and the snakes. So you set the place on fire? Is that what happened? And the snakes drowned or burned?
They chased them to the beach and then I guess set them on fire.
I mean, did they just swim to the next island? It doesn't seem like that big a deal.
Well, I don't know if they
Uh,
swim that far
do you have to
because
be like a
that's why.
water snake to swim or something?
Well, that's why like it can happen. I mean, what's that? There's an island where you're like it's like illegal to go to because there's so many snakes on it.
I will make sure I never go within 3 islands of that place.
I
They
wasn't quite.
that whirlpool though that he chucked the stroller in at the end that they said some of them got caught in.
Yeah. Well, they could see the burning snakes in the water.
Yeah.
Not sure how that works. I like when he like makes fun of himself. He's like this whole. I told myself I wasn't in a story called Telltale Print because he's hearing it squeak and nobody else is.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's a little different because he didn't kill the children.
right. And this is the ghost, not your conscience. I think it actually was squeaking just for you. Yeah, the squeak is perfect. So classic. You almost didn't need the cop other than like filler, right?
Well, the cop. Well, I guess the investigation is also what made him stay.
Yeah.
Oh, they kept telling him not to leave, and I kept thinking of Danny Kaufman going, "You can leave anytime you fucking want. Tell him to shut the fuck up."
Yeah, I know. And he was like, the state wouldn't like that. I'm like, the state can suck it. What are they gonna
Right. Like, I give a shit if the state likes it or not. Let me
do?
base all my decisions on.
Yeah, especially when she died of natural causes. Like, you have no reason to keep me here. Pound sand.
Right. Now you're just obsessed. Get the fuck out of here.
And especially like if you think you're being haunted, like I would. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably be feel safer in jail or something. Like I would
See,
take the risk of an arrest over the risk of being killed by a ghost.
That's true. Yeah.
hopefully that concrete to make it harder, right? I know my cell signal doesn't like it a whole lot when there's concrete. Yeah, I had something to say. We'll move on. Kind of. I can't get to the end of this. Oh, did you notice how his ex-wife died of a didn't say it glioblastoma?
I didn't remember the form of cancer. No.
So that's 2 wives and 2 different stories that died of the same cancer. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was more brain cancer. Like this guy has a thing with brain tumors and brain
Maybe,
cancer.
yeah, like I'd be a little uncomfortable if I was Tabby at this point.
Well, luckily, I don't think you can give someone brain cancer. I don't know.
We're gonna find out. I hope not. I don't know that I would mess with it. Who knows what that guy can do? He creates universes, for Christ's sake.
Those are the.
We're all just living in one of his stories anyway.
I mean, no, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean,
It
not that.
depends on the story.
Yeah, I would do a little Stand By Me, not so much Salem's Lot or anything.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe,
I would
well, no,
rather face the real world monsters than his monsters.
most of his are real world monsters. Well,
Yeah,
not most, but right.
but then there's
He,
also like Pennywise and Dandelo.
right, but every Pennywise has a Henry Bowers.
Yeah, and who is influencing Henry Bowers to be
Turtle.
worse?
Yeah,
No, Pennywise,
no, I know.
the turtle.
I still can't figure out who's driving that car.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
one that gets me.
is that Ghost Vic? And where's the car? Is it actually there, or is he just like sitting on
Maybe
the side of the
he
road?
can he drive at that point? Maybe he's driving it, and it's just like we're not privy
He
to
had
that
been out of
information.
the psych ward in 30 years. He can't drive.
Well, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that was Pennywise then.
He could drive a little help from his friend. Yeah, you don't fuck around with the infinite. Sounds a lot like Old Door, doesn't it?
Oh, I laughed because there were two quotes that were just like his other quotes. He said, you know how he always says the smile didn't reach his eyes, but he said it this time. There were smile lines radiating out from their corners, but they weren't currently at work.
Oh yeah, that was a new take on didn't reach their eyes, right?
Yeah, which I was like,
Yeah,
what? Okay.
yeah, I had to read that one twice. Like, wait a minute. Okay, that's what I thought he meant.
And then he says, better to accept the dead, wear the scar, and move on. And obviously that made me think of sometimes dead is better.
Oh my god. So I was in the garden this morning, and every time I like dig a hole trying to plant something, I get nothing but stones. And of course, I got fucking Judd in my head going, sometimes a man's heart is stonier. I'm like, shut up. Because there's nothing but stones. And I like, yeah, the metaphor always pops in my head. I might have to go watch, almost watch
I
the first
get,
one.
but I mean, sometimes dead is better comes up a lot just because like I watch a lot of horror, and so it's like that's always a lesson you have to learn.
I mean, yes, that's true, but they taglined the shit out of it. And now it's annoying. Especially when the second movie came out. Like, that's all we heard.
I still like
He
it
was like,
though,
yeah, I
especially in
liked
the
that he,
Judd accent.
yeah, sometimes better with an H. Better. I liked that John Lithgow didn't try to sound like a main guy. He just said it normal.
Yeah,
Like Family Guy. I was like, oh, he said the same.
was the original guy from Maine?
No, the original guy, well, I don't know. It's Herman Munster from the old TV show.
Right, right.
I actually have no idea. I think he was doing an accent, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably just said, go live in Maine and talk like everybody else.
Yeah, right. He probably dropped it or tried to drop it as soon as he could.
Did everything he could, right? Oh, did you see him thanking Robin? I was like, yeah, yay, Rob.
I did not.
Did you read the afterward? What are you reading? Hard. Oh, the one I say.
Yeah, I didn't read the afterword. I will.
When? Afterward?
Haha.
Yeah. Look, he's like,
I got
I
it.
like how he's like, when I'm found, the medical examiner will conclude it was a heart attack. They wouldn't know I've been scared to death by two dead men with their heads of children.
That's what I'm saying though. Like,
Oh,
you can die of fright.
yeah. I mean, she either killed herself or knew she was dying for some reason because she left him everything, which is like where the kid's like, hey, we're tired of you, so like give everything to him and we're gonna kill you.
Well, right. I was gonna say the third option is they forced her to write that letter and killed her.
He had it. So,
What
I
if she
mean, they
didn't write it? What are they gonna do? Kill her?
true, but if you're being haunted for like 30 years by your dead kids, you're probably like not in the best mind.
I think I'd have moved out a long time ago. I gotta say.
So that's always your solution, and I just don't think it's that simple.
Well, this isn't paranormal activity. This is normal, like ghosty stuff. They don't follow you from place to place. I mean,
How
at
do
least
you
try
know
it. And
that?
then, well, how do you know it won't? We
Just
have to
because
eliminate the option.
I always thought that was too safe of a bet. Even in Supernatural, it's like you assume it's attached to something. So it's like burn the bones or get rid of the stroller and your problem is solved. But how do you know that?
Well, because otherwise you're just fucked. There's nothing you can do with it.
Exactly.
That's not a great story, my God.
That's what I always thought watching stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that's fine and all, but in real life, I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, isn't that what we did at Sarah Laughs? I'm like, okay, but like, I'm pretty sure moving a pile of bones is gonna like make the ghost less angry. I don't think the ghost even cares.
Like, it reminds me of it in It, where he's like, you just have to believe. Because I'm like, how do you know that silver would kill a werewolf, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, the whole thing's based on belief. They should just all hold hands and not believe, and then he would go away. They
Well,
can believe that this is
they
battery
tried
acid, and
that, and it didn't work because Mike called them all back.
right, fucking Stan. It's all his fault. Okay. Anyway, I'm done with that. I guess he read got on a Lovecraft kick. It was very Lovecrafty.
Yeah, I didn't. To be, I mean, like, I would enjoy a more fleshed out version of that story because I'm not sure I was really following. Like,
That was my first thought. This could have been a much better actual. Like,
yeah, like it felt too
there's a
rushed.
lot. Yeah, there's a lot there to explore. Like, ooh, that was, lift. The metaphor is kind of hard to grasp. Like, what's under the floor of your dream? You're looking for a different dimension.
Well, and who's to say that dreams aren't already a different dimension? Like, how do you have the science figured out on that?
Yeah, and if you're open in the darkness, what do you expect to happen? Good stuff? Why are you looking for problems?
Like, because he's a scientist, a German scientist, which I was like, okay.
Maybe that makes it okay because the Germans will do anything.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, not that whatever. I don't
I
need to
was
defend them, but
Germans are lovely people. For the
yeah,
record.
exactly. Like, they are not their history.
Right. Not their fault. They went around unless they're like 120 years old. But I was expecting like a Cthulhu or something to come out from under the floor at one point.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
almost upset that he didn't.
the way that you said it was nice in that, like, the metaphor was hard to follow, like, in a lot of ways, and also in, like, the I mean, I guess it's not that hard to follow, but I'm like, the black stuff, the physical black stuff coming out from, I guess, the darkness. I'm like, what is this? Like, is that a demon?
That was so Lovecraftian and very well. You'd have to watch X Files. They have like a black oil that affects people's eyes. I was thinking of that when he was saying that. And super contagious. And then when the black oil gets in you, that means you're infected by the alien virus thing. So you're fucked. And that's what I was thinking. Like, what do you like? The okay. First of all, Mr. Super Stenographer. I was like,
Yeah.
does anybody even know what the fuck a stenographer is? Is that still a thing? Do they still do that?
I thought it was typing at first. And then I was like, right, that doesn't make sense because he's like, they're talking about legal pad.
It's shorthand typing, or well, it can be typing. They have like machines you can do it on. Most of the courtrooms have like actual like typewriter.
So that's what the language was, Greg or whatever.
I'm assuming. I didn't bother looking that up. I just went with it.
Yeah.
Unless he was talking to some guy, Greg, but I don't think that's what it was. Because he had two G's, so I was like, okay, that's a language or some shit.
Also, he was like very okay with basically murdering someone. He's like, we gotta get rid of the body. I'm like, dude, what?
He went to self protection real quick.
As soon as
He
it
was like, I was
happened.
never fucking here. And then even the cop, he's like, yeah, but no, I got out of there for that. Yeah, good luck. I mean, he wasn't. But this one here is a soldier, right? He was in the war. Some war.
I was
Was
in
that this one? He was
Vietnam, but yeah.
Yeah.
so I guess he's used to, I don't know, self-preservation.
Giving someone complete brain damage and then pretending like you were never there.
I mean, by the time, how do you say it? It was already too late by the time he realized that it needed to end. I think is what I would say to that.
I mean,
But
I guess that's true, but
you don't ever, like, I would have walked into that thinking, this guy's crazy, but he's paying me, so whatever, I'll tell you. I wouldn't have actually believed any of that crap.
I mean, that's true. I guess I wouldn't, especially because, like, well, I don't know, man. You gotta know. Like, is it legal? Is what he's doing legal? I guess would be my question.
Well, the only shady part would be the drugs, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, they're agreeing to sitting there and staring at a picture of a house until they fall the fuck asleep.
Just because they agree to it doesn't mean like just because somebody signs a consent form, I don't think that means you can do whatever you want legally. So that would be
Yeah.
my hesitation is like,
What
sure,
would
you can
be
pay me, but is this against the law?
what would be against the law about it though?
Running
You just
human
call it a study and
experiment?
move on. It's a study. Move on.
Okay, well, I don't know about the drug, but I mean, like, I don't think anybody can just legally administer a drug.
Yeah, that part I think changed. I don't know what that drug was. Like
Flurazepam?
I didn't bother. Anything that ends in a pan does like calming stuff.
It sounds like something I've heard in like shows before, where it's like truth or like
Like diazepam.
yeah. But aside from okay, so saying everything he was doing is legal, then I agree with you. I wouldn't like if he's giving me good money, then why not? They're consenting adults. But then the second that somebody gets destroyed, he's like, hide the body, never here, burn the place down.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the tub of snakes with the hands in it.
Yeah, I like that. It was probably
Yeah.
oh, because the hole that the boys fell in was like bathtub size.
Go figure. Oh,
Flurazepam.
I feel like I've heard of that, but I don't know.
But it's a benzo. Basically, it makes you fall asleep.
Benzodiazepam, right? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Lorazepam is a benzodiazepine medication primarily used to treat insomnia.
Okay, so I did look up phlegmatic assistant. I went down kind of a Wikipedia rabbit hole on that one.
Look up what?
The ad he answers, he wanted a phlegmatic or phlegmatic assistant.
I looked up phlegmatic at least, yeah.
Yes. Still
I had
not
to know.
sure what the hell that means. I think it means calm. I got to think about the four fates, and
Hey, real quick, my headphone just fell out. It says that it had to stop recording. I don't know if that means it's two recordings.
I don't know. I still hear you, though you're still here.
No, I know, but the recording just restarted.
Okay, well then, if it is, I'll make sure. I'll be careful. I'll look at it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we need to stop. I think it will just
No, I
like
don't think we need to
rejoin.
stop. I just hope it's like saved the first one.
Well, all I can say is once I figured out how to like do the individual ones, it's usually pretty good. To make sure they're in there.
It
And if
didn't
not,
start the timer on my end, so I think you might be okay.
Okay. All right, good.
yeah, mine's still going.
All right, cool.
Well, and
So
it
anyway,
didn't freak you out like it did to me that one time.
actually, I'm about to go back to that one. I might be able to find your individual one in there because that's what happened to the other one. I think you weren't. There was another one you weren't on, and I had to go pull it. I figured out how to look at all the individual recordings, and to like add it back in. And I don't even know why it wasn't there. I never figured that out. Riverside. I had to go back to them. God damn it. I mean, Riverside's great.
Do you remember what you were saying before that happened?
The phlegmatic assistant.
Yes.
It was like the four. Uh, I don't know, Greek mythology states of being or something related to temperature or something.
Well, I just looked up the word phlegmatic and it said calm, almost lethargic. Like I took it as like a person who is going to be a witness and not react crazy to anything.
Right. Someone who's taking Valium.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna like get excited no matter what happens, right? Of
Like
course,
don't
now that I'm saying that out loud, it actually kind of makes sense.
right, exactly.
Like, hey, we might like you know call up some black demon stuff, and people could die, but you're not gonna freak out.
So it was funny when he finally asked, like, what are we doing? He's like, oh, now you ask?
I know. Like, well, now I kind of need to know. They were 70 miles from Castle Rock. I was happy about that. I didn't know the rock was still around. I think he brought it back. I think he killed it and then brought it back.
They
Wait, what?
Dark Squirt Lake.
Is that gone? Did they blow that up? Or whatever. They stormed
Uh,
it, storm of the century, as it were.
Good question. Well, I don't know. How it was in the other story too, wasn't it?
Yeah. How was our timeline on this one? I don't even know when we're at.
Well, yeah, we do.
It's
It's after COVID.
not in the Dreamers. That's in the
Dreamers is 70s?
yeah, like after Vietnam.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because he served in Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
quite
did
recently. Not like
with
back in the
his
day, like he just got back or something.
him and his fake eidetic memory.
All right, I guess we're yeah. Then Castle Rock blows up or gets destroyed in the '90s. An evil thing. So, well, I think that's already common knowledge. That's the last castle, and nothing's ever done. Everything's common knowledge because it's like 30 years. So there's spoiler, even though we are reading the most recent book, or we have read the most recent book. He looked like he was trying to look like a scientist.
What does that mean?
I don't know,
He's
like some
got
guy in a white lab coat with a pocket protector.
goggles on
Yeah, yeah. Maybe some crazy hair.
and a clipboard and a pen.
Right, rubber boots, maybe. I don't.
And also, this is super random, real quick, but in the rattlesnakes, he made some kind of metaphor, and then he was like, "If that metaphor seems overly sentimental, deal with it." I'm like, "All right, chill. You wrote it."
Who are you yelling at exactly?
Yeah,
Constant reader.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, "I didn't write it. I wasn't even thinking that. Just move on."
He smoked, but never saw him take a drink. All he had was his obsession about drinking. Like he's judging him for not drinking.
Well, and smoking. What?
He was like, "Well, smoking's okay, but I never saw this guy take a drink. Like, what the hell's wrong with
He has no vices.
him?" Right? I don't trust anybody with no what.
Well, smoking is a vice. Is my point.
Well, that's also true. Yeah, I guess it wasn't enough. But so you want to go over the wall of sleep, don't you? No, I want to go under it.
I don't understand either of those.
Me neither. First of all, I looked up wall of sleep too, and all I could find was, H.P. Lovecraft story. There is no. It's not like a thing that people talk about. It's just, it's a bad song from a bad band with possibly the same name. And no, actually, I think the band has a different name, but they have a song called "The Wall of Sleep" or "Behind the Wall of Sleep." There's a lot of, I think I keep wanting to say Poe. The
Mhm.
Lovecraft story I think is beyond the Wall of Sleep, but then the movie or the band is behind the Wall of Sleep. I couldn't find shit on it. Like it's not a thing. There is so. What the fuck is the Wall of Sleep? I don't even.
Well, so he must be referencing the Lovecraft thing then.
Oh, he's got to be. That's what I'm saying. This is and it feels Lovecraftian, but he should have went like you said. I think I could have used a bigger, broader story on this one. Like put some monsters in the darkness, like Lovecraft would do. If you're gonna go all
Yeah.
Lovecraft on it,
Yeah.
I want to see Cthulhu crawling out of that fucking hole or something.
Well,
This one,
I definitely agree that it's like Lovecraft stuff, but it's also like, would that be breaching into like the Deadlights or Toadash or something? Like yet another way to bring that all together.
That's
like it served
true.
the beam.
It's very Toadashy.
That's what I was thinking. Did they just rip open a hole to Toadash? Like I don't need. You gotta close that shit. That's all I gotta say. Not a thing you want to be doing. Yeah, I don't. What's the difference between over and under?
Yeah. So do you know what the Wall of Sleep means in the Lovecraft story?
I have not read it.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I found out it was a Lovecraft story. That's not one I've heard of. So I don't know anything about that one. But now I'm gonna go read it. I'm pretty sure. I kind of want to know. Maybe it'll make more sense if I read that. Maybe I should have went and read that real quick. As far as I can tell, outside of Lovecraft, the Wall of Sleep's not a thing. This is, I don't know. Like every one of these stories, he's thinking of some dead author. I was expecting him to say Lovecraft on this one. I don't think he actually did.
He did. Well, never mind. You're right. He mentioned the book, but that was in the library.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because he said there was only one Lovecraft book.
The coffee table underneath the sciencey book.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But I think he had also read it when he was in the service, like overseas.
Yeah, that's right. He said it's a favorite. He has a paperback of it.
Well, that's very convenient.
That's why I said it has to be a Lovecraft reference then. If only we knew what the story was.
Right. That didn't bother. Although I might go. It sounds like a fucking cool ass movie. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But everything could be a cool ass movie.
I'm dumb. It was Beyond the Wall of Sleep. Yeah.
What?
That was the book by Lovecraft that he saw.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. I don't really understand what they did. So picture this house. Now picture yourself lifting the floor. Okay, I'm in the basement. Now what?
Now dig to the center of the earth.
Yeah. Now I'm like 20 feet down, and it's like worms and like dirt. So what else do you want?
Yeah, that's why I understand the loose concept. And obviously it's not good whenever you're messing with otherworldly things, but I don't really understand what what he's looking for and the methods per se.
Yeah, I, he wasn't like terribly surprised. This is his first time doing this. I feel like maybe like
Well, and where
tried
did he
this
get
before.
the idea of the red house with the green door, whatever, greenhouse with the yeah, it was red
Right.
house.
Yeah, why did it have to be that specific house?
Yeah, I'm thinking this isn't the first time he's done this. We've had other houses and other doors. And why did it have to be a floor in a house? You want to go under the walls, please. I don't know. I don't really understand what that. I can't really get my head around what the hell that means.
And it also smells bad.
Right. That's what I'm picturing.
Whole like, I don't want to go over, I want to go under, because over, I feel like you would kind of be announcing your presence, and under, you're finding a back way in.
That's true.
Sneaking in the back door.
Yeah.
Sneaking where from? What's he hiding from? Where's he going? Let's say you go over the wall. Where the hell do you end up? Like into Sleep Factory where they make dreams or something? I don't know where he's going with it.
Yeah, that's why I think knowing the story would help at least a little more because it's got to have something to do with that.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bunch of dumbasses. Right? They should have read the story. Like, this is a great book. It would have been better if we knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen often. Like usually we have some idea. Like he doesn't leave so much of the guesswork up to us usually.
It's maybe the first time I haven't actually read a book that he's talking about. I usually have.
That happens to me all the time, but I've never felt so lost in a story because I haven't read what he's referencing.
Oh, maybe that's what it is, and maybe it's just a weird story.
Well, maybe because it's a short story too, because like with the longer stories, even if you don't get the reference, you have more context clues.
Yeah, that's very true.
And in this, you don't. It's just
Yeah.
bam, done.
It's probably part of why I wanted it to be longer. I didn't even think about that.
And then who was doing the writing? If it wasn't them.
Well, I mean, that's like, who were you talking to whenever you're talking to otherworldly being?
Right, it's starting to feel like some kind of insidious thing.
Or even Bag of Bone.
Well, what do you mean who was doing the writing?
Like, who wrote in Vietnamese to our main character?
Yeah, and the one guy when he was writing it wasn't his handwriting. It was in some other font. I don't know what the word is. Style. It was in someone else's handwriting, so he didn't write it. I forget what the message. That was the Vietnamese.
That was the Vietnamese, yeah.
And that said it was a message. That was a message for him. I forget what it said, but
it said something about the moon. This side of the moon is filled with demons, something like that.
The moon is full of demons. How does he know that was a message for him?
Because the scientist dude didn't know Vietnamese.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who sent the message? The other side of the wall.
Oh yeah, and why would you not stop after that? I'd be like, hell no.
Yeah. It's like, it things about me that you don't know.
Not even my experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did it even know I was here? Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, have fun and don't tell me what happened. Because now he's saying, basically, we got the weird floating black things that seem to be conscious in some sort of way.
For sure.
They really like him, and that's just another reason not to go anywhere fucking near that place.
Yeah.
And the other guy, what the fuck was wrong with it? So when he left, the other guy, I guess, let the black things into his face or whatever, and then it was gone when he got back.
Well, that's a good question. I am curious about what happened if like they took over, or if he was like trying to do something with them, and then it got out of hand.
Yeah, did he willingly go into that good night, or did he do something.
It seemed he did because I remember there was something about like there was a vial like that dropped from his hand near him, so it seemed like he was starting to do the experiment on himself.
Mm,
And they either came out of him and swarmed him, or multiplying from the ones that were in there or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
what it kind of seems
they
like.
started surrounding his head, but
He was
It's like
like,
a
oh yeah, it
death
was like a
bag.
black. Right. That's what I was gonna say. It really was a death bag. I wonder what the goddamn it, the bald doctors would think. He was. Why was he so obsessed? Because clearly he was so obsessed he had no like thought of his own safety. Because he made like the worst decisions ever.
I think that's like there's so many more questions in this story. Like I want more
Yeah, I don't know
because he
what
clearly has a
made him.
history.
Dogs are leaving. Yeah, something I like. What the hell did this guy dream about? Why are you not scared of this keeping black floating goo that points at you, that looks your way when you talk? Although, and the other question is why it didn't really seem to do that to him a whole lot. It was more fascinated with what's his name, our hero. I don't remember his name. So why were they so fascinated by him? Like, what did that mean? Maybe they had like, yeah, like you could have something like maybe something happened in Vietnam and he had seen these things before.
maybe
Anyway,
I
getting a
just
deeper story there.
yeah.
I
From
told him to help me sit him up so what was left of him wouldn't show. Yeah, so did that guy?
I don't know actually. I don't.
He was just like, I'm gonna drop him off at the gas station. Everybody's looking. I'm just gonna walk down the road. Like fucking. Oh, then he
I
forgot
think
his.
probably a lot.
At his house. I thought it was at his house.
What was at his house?
Well, it doesn't matter. Or he left him in his car.
He left him in his car at like it was like a gas station or something. Didn't he drive him somewhere and walk away?
Or
Oh yeah.
a rest stop.
That seemed a bit risky. It doesn't say. But maybe in the
Didn't
70s you could do that. Yeah, he went to full on protect mode.
even put like I would leave him at a hospital or something.
Right? Yeah, we have no idea what happened to that guy as a matter of fact. Because he doesn't say. He went back, he dropped that guy off, forgot his boot, went back and fixed his boot, and then left for real again, and then went back to the gentleman scientist, whatever that means. Where's the Polaroids? That would be interesting.
I mean, I guess burnt down.
Oh, well, like those two. I would have kept some of them. Well, maybe not. He seems to think that he can't help himself, and he's going to dream about picking up the floor one of these days. I don't think I would have that problem, I gotta say. Like, I would probably wake up every time I even fucking picture that house. Like, nope. I mean, if I had that kind of control, but I don't see me going in and, especially when the black filaments look at you and cross the room and you say plastered themselves on the glass, and then more came and more. I watched as they squirmed around until they made my name, William Davis. Nope, bye, never coming back. Don't. I'm not going to dream about picking up no floors. I will dream about, an anvil on the floor that can't be moved or something.
I guess like the dream, like if to me it feels like the wall is like reality. So it's like let's look under reality.
I don't even know what that means. Upside down world or something. Uh, okay. So then we go to the answer, man. I can give you 500 pages on Holly Gibney. You can give me 500 on what's under the dream world, what's over it too. Anyway, like I was saying, Phil Parker's kind of a dumbass. I don't know how he didn't have a bunch of questions ready. He
But he
spent,
made.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sir. No, go ahead.
he spent like half his life just waiting for this guy to come back. And then he was like never ready when he did. He wasn't surprised, but he was never ready for it.
Yeah, you're still. I was thinking like he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't sure if he ever was going to see him again. But why not make the list just in case?
Well, I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. Because he's clearly like thinking about this guy. So just when you're up at night and you can't sleep, but like, wouldn't you have like questions that you thought of over and over again that you didn't even need to write them down at that point. At least that's how my brain works. But there's also the did that actually happen, or am I just losing my mind?
Right. So if you make a list of questions, then maybe that confirms that you're losing your mind in, quote unquote.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be able to help it. So I'm kind of the way this ended. I was like, wait, what? It's just kind of petered out. And as soon as he was like, "Is my kid gonna play professional baseball?" And he was like, "No." And he's like, "College?" He's like, "No." And he's like, "High school?" He's like, "No." Like, you already know where this is going. Oh shit! Don't ask. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Maybe you should ask. I don't know. Like that kid is so fun.
I mean, I guess he's not that smart. Yeah, because he should have, especially as a lawyer. I'm not buying it.
Well, and that's the question. Like, he's in Vietnam. Like, he says he won't be hurt and he won't be killed. I'm like, well, that's a lot of info to go to a fucking war with, huh?
A lot of to not even be hurt too is crazy.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're talking physically.
Right, right.
Those were the guys that came back and everyone told them to fuck off because they hated the war so bad. Well, they figured out it wasn't like the soldiers' part. People, like protesters would get mad at the soldiers. Anyway, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. So Phil, what was his big dilemma? Whether to work in the little town or work for the big law firm. The poor guy.
Yeah, I know. This whole story, I'm like, man, it must be nice to just have this guy who gives you all the answers that you want, and I don't know, you figure your life out.
It almost would have been better if you never told us what the dilemma was. You know, let it be a mystery. Let it be whatever your dilemma is. You know. And the guy's like, you already know the answer. Stop asking me stupid questions. He keeps like every time he asks a question, like, oh, stop that. Like even like he wasn't asking him questions on purpose. He was just talking, and questions were coming out. Like, stop doing that.
It's like a genie.
What would you ask the answer, man? I have no idea. I haven't thought of it.
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, that's another age-old question when it comes to like being able to see the future. Is like, do you really want to know?
Yeah, and well, that opens up so many doors, right? Like that also means that you have no option. If somebody can tell you what's going to happen, it doesn't matter what you do, that's going to happen, right? Or can you change it from happening?
Well, I don't know, because it's like maybe you finding out it's going to happen is what makes it happen.
Fucking rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
Kind of like the question of like, did he make it so that I would not get hurt and stay alive, or was it he telling the future?
I mean, there was something going on there, right? I took it as like this guy was being protected because he missed them with like a fucking automatic rifle point blank somehow. Like he had like 45 holes in his clothes and not one in his skin.
Yeah, but maybe he just saw that happening in the future.
I don't even want to I don't even know how to calculate the odds of that happening.
Yeah, but things like that do happen in real life.
I guess it feels manipulative, but it's like the first time he gave him nothing but good news, and the second time was nothing but bad news. I didn't really know that at the time. What was the third time?
He just asked about heaven. Or, well, he asked him, like, a bunch of questions, and he just goes, yes.
Yeah, he's like, yes to everything. Yeah, will I die? Is there God? Is there Buddha? Is there heaven? Is there hell? You know, he asked a bunch of contradictory questions, and he said, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of thought that was funny.
Yeah. Because I had to read that again. I was like, wait, what do you mean, yes? And then I was like, no, yeah, he said yes, all that shit. And poor Sally cabin. Yeah, so the first time his life takes off. Second time it goes to shit.
I also like. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say he even says when he comes back the second time, he's like, "Yeah, you asked me a bunch of questions you already knew the answer to."
I know. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, who that like? How did he not ever ask that question? Who are you? Where do you come from? Like,
he
what is your deal?
He kind of did ask that, and he's like, "You know, I'm the answer man."
What's the question you have to ask if find out if somebody's lying?
What?
Can you tell a lie? You have to say like, can you ever tell a lie? And they say, wait, if they say no, they're lying. I can't remember, but there's a way to find out.
I know what you're talking about.
Or can you tell a lie? So if I say yes, then I could be lying just right off the bat. But if I say no, I can't lie. I forget the logic on
Are
that. I
you
remember.
lying? Isn't it something? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. It's like, are you lying to me
Right.
or something like that?
So yeah, I need to ask him that question. Need to ask him like, where did you come from? Like,
It's kind of.
are you real? Do you exist outside of my head? Who do you work for?
I do like when he just gives us these characters with no explanation. Like it's like the yellow card man. Oh, well,
Yeah, I
I
like
guess
that guy. That poor guy. The yellow card man. Yeah, he's the same as the red card man.
he's
Brown card.
another time traveling. Well, he
Just
doesn't
keep it
really
all.
answer his questions, does he? I don't remember what he does.
I remember, but I hesitate. Although we already did that book, so I guess I shouldn't hesitate.
Oh yeah,
He
that's so. I forgot. Allie hasn't
he
read that one.
What Dreamcatcher?
11, 22,
11,
16.
22.
We should just go do it again. Fuck it. Who knew how important that was going to be? Well, he did, clearly. He kept referencing it, like, finally, like, fuck it, just write the damn book. But that didn't stop him from keeping referencing it.
Nothing will.
Yeah, what they call a watershed moment. I wonder, have you heard the whole 100 Men Against the Gorilla nonsense?
Yes, I have.
This cracks me up. They have, like, computer simulations of how bad it would go for the 100 Men.
Oh, I don't think anybody's saying that a bunch of people wouldn't die. I just think
Oh,
it
a good
was
50 or 60 of them, right?
right.
But they have simulations of gorillas, like, swinging an arm and swatting, like, 6 of them out of the way.
We had a whole discussion at my house because like we were going back and forth about the different like I was going back and forth too because I was like, look, 100 is a lot, but you have no weapons. How do you even kill a gorilla?
100 is a lot, but is it a lot to a gorilla? Because they are strong.
Right. But then they're like, gorilla, you just have to wear it down. It will run out of endurance, and then you can like poke its eyes out and
Can you make
rip
it
its
there though?
teeth out. I don't know.
Can you last long enough to wear that motherfucker down? I don't know if I'm betting on it.
100 of you could.
Well, he's not going one at a time.
Well, obviously not. They said like the first swing would take out like 20 people.
Yeah, right. Like 100 yellow card men against one green card man. Something like that.
I feel like we're just talking about soccer right now. Red
Yeah,
card.
right. Well,
Oh, is that
you,
where he got it from? Oh, is that all
I don't.
sports? Oh.
No, it's soccer. You get yellow and red. Yellow's a warning. I think 2 yellows is a red, and you have to leave.
Wait, well that makes a lot of sense. I never thought about those being warning colors. Oh my god.
Well, there's also a green card, man.
Yeah, there is. Damn.
I don't think they issue green cards in soccer. I'm pretty sure that just means you're good.
No, but in the context of the story, I never put that together like red, green, and yellow.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh,
I
warning.
think. Well, what color is he when he comes back from future that last time? I think that's when he's red, right? And he's like drunk
Yeah.
as piss and can barely hold his shit together. But anyway, that book keeps coming up in ways I never expected.
He reminds me of a genie.
Yeah, he's like snarky. Like, what else is he up to? He's just like he didn't. I mean, unless he did, I didn't like give the kid cancer or give the wife cancer. Everybody dies of cancer in all these movies. So, a couple of them from a Leo Basso.
I mean, maybe it's also like he's getting older and he knows people who are dying of cancer.
That could also be. I was thinking that because every story ends with thinking of somebody who I'm assuming some of them I know are dead authors. I don't know about all of them. Yeah, he knows a lot of dead authors. But he is what 70 and that's 76. He's 78, 47, 25. He'll be what's his birthday? September. Well, he'll
He's
be 78 this year if he's not. Granddad's home. Did I tell you that? Oops.
oh no. Yay.
Yeah, call me later.
That's
Yeah. So anyway, I he's and he's clearly like a time traveler or some shit, right? Because he doesn't age.
yeah. Again, it's like a genie.
I think he's like a Todash guy.
But you're
He's like a
assuming he's
trap.
evil. He didn't do anything wrong.
Well, that's the part I'm trying to figure out. Like, he's not like causing this shit to happen, or
Oh, well, I guess he could be, but I didn't get that impression.
No, he's just giving you the answers that you may not want. I think it was the lesson here, right? Yeah. Like Aesop's Fable or some shit.
Because then you're living your life to the answers instead of
And
just living your life.
that's what he did, clearly, every time.
Yeah.
Stop having to catch with his kid like the second he got back. He's like, oh, you're not gonna be pro, this ain't worth it. It's like
His
crazy.
son's like, what do you mean? How do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not even making it to high school. Just give it up already. Dreams. Oh, yeah, he did do a lot of that. And he was like not yeah, I think he was like living expecting. So now he had to live his life basically suspecting that something bad was going to happen to his son and just kind of waiting for it to happen. So that's not great. Although he didn't ask about his wife. Interesting. He just went up and died for the hell of it. I keep confusing her with Rattlesnake. Wife died of cancer, right? Wow. Right after his son died.
Not right after.
Well, in the same Answer Man, in the same 14 years, I guess. Well, that's a pretty good amount of time.
Is it every 14 years? No.
I don't know what the third one was. I know the second
He
one
was
was.
like old, yeah.
Yeah, and he went and asked for him to come, and he didn't show up. Like, hey, dude, I got some questions. And why don't you just like put like $1,000 in your wallet so you have enough fucking money?
Yeah, next time it's gonna say $1,001.
I know, right? It probably will. That's what I was saying. I was about to say like 10 grand, whatever it is. He'll be $1 short.
I do question his motives because it's like, why? Why? If he's not evil, then why would he just be doing this?
Why is he doing it only to him or to a
Well, we
select
don't
few?
know that.
Well, right, but nobody else.
Nobody sees him at the time of the reading, but that doesn't mean he's not giving other people readings.
Right, but he's clearly not giving everybody that rides by doesn't see him. I don't think.
True. I
So
probably true.
he's singling certain people out, but I don't know what the qualifications are.
Yeah, I agree.
Specific question, maybe.
The stupidest smart people he can find. He has a disdain for smart people or educated people, whatever he said, because they ask stupid questions. The smart people ask the stupid questions or something. Maybe it's just going after like a bunch of lawyers. I think I'd be okay. But yeah, it did change the way he lived his life. It's very Adam Sandler and Quick, where he kind of wasted his life. Like, well, not wasted. Well, Phil didn't waste his life the way he did.
Well, you're not living your life for yourself because you're always wondering about what this other person told you. Kind of like religion.
He's now overweight. Is this the one you're talking about? He's now overweight wife with the bad complexion and the dull eyes. Now their eyes, especially fascinating. There were no depths there.
No, the one that I read was from Rattlesnakes.
See, he's doing it. He doesn't say nothing reaches their eyes. What do you mean? There were no depths. Yeah, so I don't really know what the point of this was. Okay.
I mean, again,
So,
it feels like commentary on fate and like, it's about the journey, not the destination.
yeah, well,
Well, and I guess if you had the answers, what would you do with them?
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
like everybody
existential.
Yeah.
everybody thinks they want to meet the answer man, but do you really?
Always remember others have it worse is what that made him do. I wasn't sure about that reaction. And then he decided to take on the case of the chick that got burned, the lady that got burned. Okay. And I don't know. I kind of didn't see the point in this. Because
Yeah.
then he went on a crusade. Well, I think they say that. Because you can't get mad at the cancer that took your wife, so you're going to get mad at them instead. Something like that. Or your son, not your wife. Or both.
At that point, both.
Yeah. I don't know. If I'd have walked up that last
my God.
time and it said all answers free, I might not have asked any questions.
Especially because he says it changes per person. So it's like it's obviously tailored to him each time.
Right. Yeah. What did he do with the damn money? He doesn't need it. Like, come on. What are you doing this for?
Oh, I forgot he has a brain tumor in this one. Like, come on. That is definitely a fear of his.
Or did he have cancer and just nobody knows? And got over it or something. Do we go on after he died? Do we go on? Why does he pass out every time? Because he's not really there. Because he went toe dash. Why? He's going toad after.
There has to be a way to make him leave when the Answer Man is done. Basically, like this guy thinks that he's in control, but he's not controlling anything.
Yeah.
Is it heaven, hell, reincarnation? Do we remember? Are we still ourselves? Will I see my wife and son? Will it be good? Will it be awful? Are there dreams? Is there sorrow or emotion? Like, yeah.
I don't know. Let's read Revival.
You know, I hate to tell you this, but I think we got to put it on the list because there's a movie.
It's fine. I have to give it another chance.
I love Revival. Revival's cool. It was very. You could just see the. You didn't know where it was going, but you could see it building, like over the kid's life. It kept going back to that. I'm like, okay, what are we doing this for?
I mean, I guess it should give me comfort that he's an incredibly good storyteller, and it's obviously not real. But of all the stories, seeing his versions of the afterlife just makes me so uncomfortable.
Revival's a tough one. It makes you squirm. You're like, oh, what an awful way to think about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't think. Oh, who knows? But I don't. I'm not worried that that's gonna happen.
I'm not either. That's why I'm like, it's not real. It's just a story. But imagine if it were.
Yeah, it's great that he can make us uncomfortable. So yeah, I guess that's an existential story. What would you ask the Answer Man? And should you ask him anything? I guess what you take out of it.
Right.
But yeah, at the same time, does that mean is the Answer Man manipulating my fate to his answers, or does it not matter what I do, and that's the way it's going to be?
I was gonna say, how does it serve him to do that? But I guess how does it serve him either way? So
Yeah, he's a snarky bastard. Anyway, that's the end of You Like It Dark.
yeah, that was interesting. Very different from a lot of what we read, just because it's so new.
It's new and it's short stories. We've never even.
Well, that's
thought
true.
about
We haven't done that on the podcast. Well, except for like the little ones here and there.
Maybe we did like half.
Well, we did. What
Different
was the
season.
bug
We
one?
did the bug one.
Sisters of Aloria.
Oh, the Doctor Bug. Well, we had that. You know, that's part of a larger mythos, ethos, all that stuff.
Well, and Ted, the story with Ted and Hearts in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
That's a great book because it travels with Bobby and it travels with all three of them, Bobby, Sully, John, and Carol, as they get older. Each story is like a different point in their life. He's so
Yeah.
good at that kind of shit.
Yeah, like
You
that.
know, you already.
That was technically short stories, but it did not feel like short stories.
I mean, that's another thing he likes to do, where it's like 4 stories in one big book. So they're not short stories, but they're not, 1,400 things either. There's some of my favorite different seasons. I love every story in that one.
That one is the body.
Yeah.
And Shawshank.
Yep.
The photograph one.
The Nazi guy.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Wait a minute. That's the Nazi guy. People. What's the other one? God damn it. Oh, the breathing method. Which, man, if you haven't read it, you probably don't know that one. And I'm not going to talk about it, even though it's 50 years old. She has a baby in an unconventional way, all because her body is so trained to the breathing method that she was learning that it was able to do it on the top. Anyway, let me stop. Not all of her was there for the birth. I guess.
Was that written when Tabby was after she gave birth?
I mean, clearly something around then. 1980. Let's see who was born after that or before that. I think Joe's my age, right? Or close enough to it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Sounds good.
I feel like
what?
I just say we've been talking about needful things so much. I feel like we have to finally get to it.
Yeah, that, and we got to get the talisman man's ones. There's a 3 coming. I love it. I don't know. Well, he wrote them with Peter Straub, so did they already write this? I'm hoping. He's not doing it without him. That'd be kind of sad. It would kind of be like, why is he doing it? I think Peter Straub died like last year, so hopefully it's something they already did. Okay, so what are we doing about 200, 150.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't even
I
pulled out
got
the book.
through chapter 5. Will take me through like 190 something. I think that.
These are going to be regular pages again.
Yes, this is all the same story now.
Well, the other pages were like 150 or 200. It's a lot less. Forgot.
How many you want to do?
No. Sorry, that's not what I'm saying. I just forgot that this. Oh no, actually, you know what? Never mind. Ignore me. Pulling out the book. So you said up to chapter 5.
Including chapter 5 would be like 190 something, 194 on here. Or we could do, including chapter 4 would put us around 100.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, my book is a little different.
What do you got?
So like up to including chapter 5 for me is 153
Stopping at 6 is 153.
for Needful Things, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Okay,
Like I said,
including 5.
Yeah.
I thought I had the book up here with me, and I do not, so I'll just make a note.
Yeah.
Notebook that you bought me for going 19 is now full.
Oh no, we need new ones. I've looked at merch, but I haven't felt like spending money on it. We only got like 4 subscribers this month. But we're up past 150. But if you really look at the details, not many people make it through the whole thing. So I can say whatever the hell I want by this time. All we need is like one interview with like Stephen King or something, and then we'll have like 8 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you doing?
Again, it's also there are a lot of listeners, but like Stephen King podcast is so niche and one where you have to have read the book to know what we're talking about.
Or you could read the book along with us. That's the way I like to think of it.
True.
You could take it and read like the parts that we read and then listen to us talk about it. Like you don't even have to do it like as we do it. You could go back to any one of these books and like read it with us.
That's also true.
So maybe it'll help people more down the road than as we're doing it.
Yeah.
Good news is there's no shortage of material. I think we're in the 21st book or something like that. So we still have a lot. Well, it'll outlive us, I'm assuming, or at least our podcast.
Definitely.
All right. 2 weeks, somewhere at the end of May, maybe Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if that matters. I think that's 2 weeks from today. Or this week.
Oh yeah, is it 10? Actually, is it? Actually, I don't know when Memorial Day is.
Yes, it is.
Right. It doesn't really matter for me. I'll cook out on Monday and not give a shit about much of it.
Yeah,
It should be.
Me too.
All right. End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.